So we are live. We're going to wait for a few viewers to come on. I'm here with Mick Guzauski. This is his studio in Southern California.
This is Gracy.
This is Gracy, beautiful Great Dane Gracy, wonderful natured dog who hangs out with us. So we're picking up some viewers, some of the gear. Mick's been using Antelope for the past few months, and we've developed a nice partnership together. What has it meant for you? Some of the gigs that you've gone out on. We did Tori Kelly. You went out and did a live recording gig, just using the mic pre's and the conversion from Antelope, Mick.
Well, Antelope. I've been using the is it 32 pre or pre 32?
The MP32.
MP32 32 channel mic preamp, and the Orion for live recording, and to me these Antelope products really sound great. At their price point, there's probably nothing better that I know of, and the channel count for the amount of money and the size is incredible. You can have a really nice live recording setup in a small rack space, and it just works very well.
And you took a rack and made your own rack, comprising with our stuff and some AVB,
right? Yeah.
So you could do an extender. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Since the Orion can work with USB or MADI, and USB has a very limited distance. I found an AVB, which is audio over Ethernet, that's built into Mac's Yosemite, Apple's Yosemite operating system in Newer. I found a little device made by Pivatech that converts AVB into MADI. So I've got that in the rack, and I'm feeding AVB from the computer to an AVB switch in the rack. That AVB switch goes to the AVB to MADI, and so the Orion is being fed and being fed by MADI, and also the A to D's return their digital signal through the MADI, and I can send audio to MADI, so I have both A to D and D to A over Ethernet.
And you're sending 32 channels of audio
bidirectionally,
both ways,
at 96 kilohertz,
96K up to 150 feet, and that's important.
100 meters.
100 meters, excuse me.
I've used it up to 100 feet so far, and it's been fine. Their spec is 100 meters if you're using.
And you're sending an Ethernet camera over this as well, right?
I tried that for a while. It worked, but the problem with that is that running all 32 channels and all the software, I think it clogged the processor up of the computer.
So right now you're doing the audio and you're doing the remote control. So
yeah,
it's Ethernet,
right.
USB. People are asking to see the room a little bit more. There you go.
Yeah. Now, this isn't the live recording setup.
This is not the live recordings. This is actually Mick Guzauski's studio. Matter of fact, you're just working on a big 5.1 project for an American Chinese artist.
Yes.
Who's huge.
Leehom Wang. He's playing.
What's his name again? I'm sorry.
Leehom Wang.
Leehom Wang?
Yeah.
As the phone rings in our background.
That's
this is
probably
live.
him.
We're live, by the way, folks.
That's probably him.
Oh, that may be him calling right now. Where's my mix? Mix. So, and Leehom Wang, I mean, wow, this guy plays stadiums in China and
at the
sells
Bird's
out.
Nest Arena, the stadium that was built for the 2008 Beijing Olympics.
That's what we were watching.
90,000 people audience.
Oh, they were singing with his songs, and he was performing, rapping in both Chinese and English. It was pretty impressive. So, Mick, you're going to come join us at our at the AES show. You're going to be at our booth on the 31st of October, Halloween.
Yeah.
Wear your costumes, everybody. This should be an interesting AES on Halloween weekend.
I need to get me a Daft Punk helmet for Halloween. That's what I want.
Yeah, there you go. Get it. Have them load you one, and then come. Anybody that's going to be at AES in New York, come and meet with Mick. Listen to him talk about some of his adventures out there, mixing some of the biggest stars in the world. And without getting into any details, we've talked with and shown you our new products that are upcoming that we're going to be announcing at AES. So without giving anything away, can you just share your general thoughts and enthusiasm about what we've got coming?
Yeah. How specific do I get her?
Well, we can talk about the sound. We could talk about
Let's first talk about clocking. I can't talk about exactly what the new product is yet, but I've used Antelope clocks in commercial studios that that have them, and I've been very impressed. I haven't really tried one here yet until today, and the difference was pretty incredible. And I was very skeptical at first, since even though the master, the Pro Tools Master is running word clock, there's so many pieces of equipment, including the speakers, that are connected just AES without a separate word clock connection. I thought, how could clocking really make a difference over all this wire and all this all these different formats with word clock superimposed on the audio as an AES EBU? But it did. I heard it with my own ears.
And it took you like all of about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You didn't need to sit and listen long.
Yeah.
And this is we can't show the new product that we're testing out here today until next week. But you're listening to the latest, and it's really wow. I mean, to my ear, it sounds even better than I've been doing this for 10 years. And the new sound is like a whole other level of sound. What kind of things were you hearing better about the sound? We talked about the crowd and that live.
Well, yeah, we were playing back this live 5.1 mix. Playing the multi-track off of Pro Tools. And my system, just so you know, is it's Pro Tools system. I'm coming out AES EBU Pro Tools into a speaker controller here with EQ this for room tuning and the crossover to the sub. Feeding that with AES EBU, coming out AES EBU into these JBL 4328s in a 5.1 configuration. They have digital inputs, so the only conversion really between the audio files and listening is the converters in the speaker. And we connected the Antelope clock to the word clock input of Pro Tools, and the system, it seemed to open up. The 5.1 picture of the audience got a lot clearer. It seemed because of less distortion in the top end, like less sort of random kind of odd harmonic. Oh, my wife's vacuuming.
Ellen's
the other room.
Ellen's vacuuming here.
The home studio.
We're in the home studio with Mick Guzauski, Pharrell, Daft Punk. So you were hearing it. We also talked about the top end. And
the top end, it was cleaner. There was definitely less hash on the top end that I've always attributed to low sample rate digital, but I guess not. I guess it's I guess it has to do a lot with clocking.
And the snare drum, we noticed.
The snare drum, yeah, in this big auditorium and everything, the snare drum, which just sounded like a crack and was nice and punchy before, now you could really hear the wood and the tone of it better amongst all the ambience. So I'm very impressed with this.
Well, we appreciate your time. Let's see, double tap. I'm Marcel with Antelope. I'm here with Mick Guzauski in his home studio, and you're seeing a shot of everything. Come see Mick and myself at AES at the Javits Center in New York in just a couple short weeks on the 31st. And you even said you might be able to stop a little bit.
I'm going to try. I'm pretty tied up through the convention. I'll be there on Saturday around 3 o'clock, and stay there for about an hour and a half. I can.
Well, we look forward to it.
And Marcel, could I go over the live rack again, because I didn't have my thoughts all together?
Oh yeah, let's talk one more time. Mick's been using Antelope with his live recording solution with USB and MADI going through a AVB single wire solution up to 100 meters. What were you going to recap there?
Oh, I was just going to say I built a rack using an Antelope MP32 preamp on Orion 32. I've got from a small company in Pennsylvania called Pivotech a AVB, and for people who don't know what that is, that's audio over Ethernet. That's built into Apple's OS, Yosemite, and the newer one, El Capitan. I can send 32 channels to the Orion and receive 32 channels from the Orion at 96 kilohertz over up to 100 meter Cat5e or Cat6 Ethernet cable. And what I'm doing in this rack is sending and receiving audio through the AVB to MADI, feeding and receiving audio from the Orion via MADI. And then also the AVB, since Ethernet is over the same line, is going to a Ethernet to USB server that has two USB ports on it. One's connected to the Orion, one to the MP32. So the USB control for both units I have at the computer, so I can control mic pre-gain and phantom power and all the parameters.
And we're going to show this we'll show this in even more detail at AES. But again, up to 100 meters control of 32 channels bidirectional at 96 kilohertz and remote control. is what we're talking about over one single Ethernet wire.
And I think we can go to 64 channels over one Ethernet. We'd have to split to another.
Another box.
Yeah, we just need another AVB to MADI. But gigabit Ethernet, I think, can easily handle 64 channels at 96 kilohertz.